That's the big story, one of the big stories of the day. The other one, of course, is the terror attack in Manchester yesterday. And I want to bring in this man with another story that's developing as we speak. He's the author of the new book, The Ranger Way, Benghazi hero Kris Tanto Paronto, who is with us this morning in New York. Welcome to a crowded show.
I know. Thank you for having me.
You made it.
I love how you still say Tanto. You are my favorite person that pronounces Tanto. I just want to hear it again.
Well, how do you pronounce it?
Tanto.
Well, what I just said Tanto.
I love being on your shows, too. I love being here, sir.
I want to talk to you about this. We got news early this morning of another raid in Yemen.
Yes, sir.
I believe it was the SEALs that carried it out.
Yes.
I believe they killed 7 terrorists and walked away with a lot of intel. Now, you know this field. I'm not going to ask you whether you were on that kind of mission or not. That's not the point. How does this go down? What's important in a mission like this?
Important is the practice before. It's the intel collection prior to. When the hit goes, if you don't have proper intel of what's on the location, who your target is, and even the location itself, what it looks like, the schematics of it, the operation's destined to fail. And the special ops are best at planning before this happens.
So we've got drones, with cameras looking down, surveilling a large area.
Yes.
Do we have, like, human intelligence?
You have to have human. If you don't have what's called human.
We've got an informer?
You have to either an informer or maybe even a U.S. citizen embedded somewhere in there. And again, without getting into more operational aspects of it, you have to have that human intelligence. If you don't, the mission will fail, and you'll have multiple casualties.
You have scouts who go forward, single guys on their own, getting...
There is a possibility of that. There always is a human collection element. I think over the past administration, though, we utilized more of local intelligence, which sometimes was not good to do. The integrity there, because you're giving money, you're giving funds out. Or now, I think under this administration and General Mattis, particularly, I think they're going to utilize more U.S. assets to do that. And
are you the best? When I say you, I mean
am I the best? Well, let's do it now. The U.S. Who are you going to trust to do a U.S. mission is to have a U.S. citizen there.
But okay, in terms of competition between special forces, the Brits have got the SAS.
You know, that is a team network. When you're working with the SAS guys, to me, that's like working with the Navy SEALs. It's the same. We are the same team. When we see each other, aside from the language, which the Brits say Tanto better than us U.S. people here, they say it nicely. It just sounds better. We're on the same team. Okay. So I will never say the SAS is better than the SEALs, but the Rangers are the best overall. But that's because I'm a Ranger.
What's the title of the book? The Ranger Way. Oh, funny you should say that.
People do not know how funny you are. I tell you what, until they get in the studio. Always need to come see you in the studio. I love coming here. And have my jacket, because I'm always underdressed when I come in.
Now, hold on a second. I've got some serious news that I've got to tell our audience. It has broken within the last few minutes. Where are we? There, right there. Okay. Salman Abedi. That is the name of the suspect who blew himself up. The authorities believe that was last night in Manchester. Salman Abedi, A-B-E-D-I. That news, by the way, was broken by American authorities.
It hasn't come from the UK. It's come from U.S. officials citing British government. So it's news to the UK. The UK media outlets are now reporting what the US is saying, which is kind of interesting.
That is very interesting indeed. Back to Tanto Paronto. These guys... just dreadful people going after soft targets. How do you go after them?
You know, I saw one of your last guests says you can't beget violence with violence, and I have to tend to disagree a little bit with that. You have to, just like the Yemeni raid that took place, you have to go in and you have to strike terror back into the terrorists, which is what we were doing before the past administration. And you have to put fear back into them. I agree with them that it's going to be impossible to stop these little attacks with these soft targets unless we start utilizing physical security, which I don't think at this place, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, in Manchester, they had security there. You have to have that in place. You have to have a show of force to stop or deter these terrorist attacks.
Tell me about the president's trip to the Middle East, because it seemed like he'd changed the conversation dramatically. Number one, he's telling the people that the Iranians will never get a nuclear weapon. And number two, He's organizing a coalition of Muslims based on Egypt and Saudi Arabia to go after terror, isolate terror. I take it you approve of this?
Perfect. We have to show a united front with Christians and Muslims and show that there is a distinction between Muslims and terrorists. I think that was a problem with the prior administration, is they tried to lump it in Muslims. When we say terrorists, we mean all Muslims. No, that's not true. We have friends in the Muslim nation that want to destroy terrorism just like we do, and I think he showed that. And also, with his we are the strength of the world, showing that we are strong again and that we want to take these things head on and lead from the front, not lead from behind.
So, you want a muscular approach to this kind of thing. Okay, now tell me, what should our approach be to North Korea? It's a very different situation. They are threatening much of Asia with their missiles and maybe an atomic bomb. What would be the approach there?
Well, you do have the sanctions that you can continue to do through the UN, but that doesn't help a whole bunch. Yeah, at least we haven't seen it in the past to help. I think you still throw more sanctions on there, but again, more of a show of force, maybe even South Korea, maybe even putting people up, having more troops there. I know people dislike that, but if we sit back and we sit on our haunches like we did the last 8 years, we're going to continue to let North Korea get its hands on more weapon systems, and the possibility of a nuclear attack are going to increase.
Do you feel that Americans are on have the kind of opinion that you have, which is, as I said, a more muscular approach, a forward approach? Take your gun out and use it.
After these last 8 years, no, I don't think so. I think the majority of Americans now are more of, hey, hands off, let's just be nice, let's hug it, let's kiss these terrorists, and they're going to change their ways. But I think we're going back to the other direction, which is more of a muscular approach, more of a strong approach, because terrorists do not listen to, hey, we're going to help you guys out, we want you to be part of this project. No, they want to destroy us. And the only way you can take on that is try to go and destroy them back, and that's my opinion.
Before we leave this subject, I want to bring everybody in here. One of the great things of the President's trip to the Mideast, in my opinion, was where he mentioned the slaughter of Christians.
Which we have not heard of from the previous administration.
We did not hear that. No, we did not. Peter?
I think he's willing to confront things in a very deft way, and I think he handled terrorism and some of the things that were sort of touchy subjects in his speech exceptionally well. One of the other things is he's got the Chinese now reducing imports to the lowest level in years from North Korea, down below $100 million. So sanctions are coming in from China, of all places. So Donald Trump has to get good mark for some of his foreign affair activity. He's doing a great job in the Middle East.
All right. Tanto, or no, Tonto.
That's it. You make it sound so soft and cuddly.
Oh, no, let's not get carried away, lad. What's the title of the book? The Ranger Way? Soft and cuddly?
I know. That's not going to sell any books, is it?
You're all right.
Thank you, sir.
Us, sir. We'll
God bless you again, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.